The decision to move out from home and go into service offices came about as, I guess, a combination of factors. First of all, for me as a solicitor, I wanted sort of credibility. I didn't want people meeting me around my dining room table all the time. I wanted people to see me in a proper office and also give the perception that perhaps I was bigger than I was. There was also just the reality of the fact that as the business grew, I was having more and more boxes of files and filing cabinets and everything else I needed. I also had a secretary which was then coming in to help with all the day-to-day things. So the space of having an office, I'd really outgrown the home at that point, and I thought, okay, now's the time when I need to be out into a separate office. I chose serviced offices because as a sole practitioner, I didn't need a lot of space. I effectively needed about 180 square foot, and they were really my only option to have that amount of space. If I was much bigger, then I could have rented a complete floor in a building or somewhere else. So service offices were really the best option for me, but they also came with a lot of advantages. For example, there was shared meeting space which I could rent. There was sort of a nice reception area to meet clients, and there was also a community around me. Working as a sole practitioner, sometimes you go days without seeing anybody, but working in a service office environment, there's about 80 other people in the same sort of environment, so you could meet for a coffee in the kitchen, you could talk things through, and it just made the whole working day much more pleasurable by having similar sort of people around you to work from. And it was a good source of business because they'd ask me questions and we'd be able to help each other out, and in that community I also picked up a lot of clients, so that more than covered my rent. I think the biggest challenge of working in service offices is sometimes the location. Obviously you can't choose exactly where it is, you've just got a choice of which one's best for me. So when I was looking for service offices, I looked at town centre locations, but then parking was a real challenge. I then looked at more of an out of town solution, but then I found that because I needed to use post office, banks, go to the shop, those sorts of things, so that became more of a challenge. So it is a compromise, but it's one of those things that you just have to be organised with your day, and if you know that you're going to need to go to the bank and do things, you plan accordingly. I think if you're choosing between service offices and at home, you really have to think about your personal circumstances and what you want to achieve. So think about the perception for your business. If you're meeting clients and people are going to come into your home, is that something you want? If you don't ever meet clients and you only deal with people on the phone, or perhaps you're booking sales meetings and then you go out to see them, then it's not an issue. Again, I've got a 2-year-old daughter who would be running around, and that if you're seeing clients and things, that might not be appropriate, but if you're not seeing clients, not a problem. One of the advantages getting out into service offices is also a space separate from your business, so you can have that sort of I'm at work now or I'm at home now, and for some people then that's quite important. So for me at the moment, I like to have sort of a combination of two. I can go out to the office, I can do some work there, completely separate, but then also I've got my home office where I can come back and I can do a bit more in the evenings, or if childcare or something like that means that I need to work from home, then I've got that option. So I like the flexibility of having both.